Hey, it's been a while since I've done one of these, hasn't it? Then again, it really wasn't my choice. Mostly it was my fault because I've been uploading so many videos that the latest that my power director that I used to put these videos up here was moving way too goddamn slow, and essentially I had to cut down on significant amounts of videos, and so that's why there wasn't as many Reviewing Network Talks About episodes since June. In fact, none at all. And I've been focused mostly on the Christmas and July videos I did in July, the 2 Thumbs Up documentary I did in August, and the September videos that I've been doing this month. So that's why I haven't done one of these since late June overall, but we are back, and I figure, you know what, the last 2 times I did a top 30 list to start the new season off, we've had to go out to a movie theater. I went to a nice one for the first year, and then I went to the world's worst one that collapsed on me literally the last day I did my worst movie of all time. So I figure for this year, why not just stay at home, sit back, relax, and talk about some of my favorite TV shows of all time. And unlike the previous list I've done before, which have been mostly lists I've already shown off before, I've seen a lot more TV shows since then, so there are radically new names being added to the list here that weren't there before if you saw my original list over on the main website at the Reviewing Network on the Reviewing Network website. So I figure why not just go ahead and do my top 30 favorite TV shows, pretty much new for everybody here, so we can just pretend that original list doesn't even exist, even though there'll still be a lot of shows on that list that you'll be familiar with, and I think you pretty much figure out what my favorite TV show of all time is, but all a good time if you haven't been listening or watching. But with that said, let's go ahead and get to number 30 on my favorite TV shows of all time, the 30th of my favorite shows. And you know, Cartoon Network in the 2010s was an interesting time, if you'll say the least. I mean, you know, back then they were consistently throwing Teen Titans Go and the 2016 Powerpuff Girls down your throats, but you forget that the 2010s had some pretty damn good shows on Cartoon Network. You know, Adventure Time, Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, The Looney Tunes Show, Symbiotic Titan, The Amazing World of Gumball, Clarence, Steven Universe, Over the Garden Wall, Long Live the Royals. Just a slew of really great shows that either ended, got canceled ahead of their time, or have just been plain forgotten because of what the network essentially has become at that point. But one of their crowning achievements is number 30 on my list, and it's a show that keeps growing on me every single year ever since it ended, and it's just, I mean, what more can you say about a show like Regular Show? It's anything but that, as the tagline for the show was always. But this was Regular Show, and it was a series revolving around the lives of 2 working-class friends, a blue jay named Mordecai, voiced by the show's creator J.G. Quintel, and a raccoon named Rigby, voiced by William Sailors. Both employed as groundskeepers at a local park. They usually try to solve a simple problem, but then it leads to a surreal, extreme, and others often supernatural misadventure. And during these misadventures, they interact with the show's other main characters, including Benson, Pops, Muscle Man, High Five Ghost, Skips, Margaret, and Eileen. You know, it's got its place in history. 8 seasons, over 260 episodes. It's a show that has its place in history at Cartoon Network as one of its longest running and most memorable shows, and I honestly think it's one of the best shows that came out in the 2010s. It's one of the highlights of that decade, maybe one of the greatest TV shows of all time. And it's weird, because me saying that Regular Show is potentially one of the best TV shows of this decade, and yet I barely made mention of it beforehand and since the site got started, and you know, it's a show that has held up a lot better than I think we give it credit for. No joke. This show is one of the most unique shows that Cartoon Network has ever put on at a time for a number of reasons. First of all, you got a lot of likable, relatable characters. You like watching the camaraderie between Mordecai and Rigby. They work off each other very well, going off on these crazy misadventures. And again, it's J.G. Quintel's writing style and creative style that brings it to another level. I mean, I said it before, man, with Close Enough, I think J.G. Quintel's kind of like my spirit animal when it comes to, like, creating relatable characters and relatable situations while going as crazy as you can possibly go with it, because he just nails it every single time. And him and William Sailors as the Mordecai and Rigby just work so well. They work so well off each other overall. You got a great voice cast that includes Mark Hamill as Skips, you know, Sam Marin as Pops, Benson and Muscle Man, Well, Sam Aaron as Pops is great too, but Muscle Man's also Muscle Man is who's Muscle Man? Yeah, okay, I guess he is, but I thought for some reason Benson was voiced by the same guy who does the voice of Rigby. But no, Sam Marin does the voice of Benson, Pops, and Muscle Man, and to have those three distinctive voices for one character, for one voice actor, is pretty impressive. And you know, it's just the power of this show, man. It has also a terrific voice cast that includes veterans like Jeff Bennett, Roger Craig Smith, Janine Haddon-Tompkins, Minty Lewis, Linda Cardellini, David Ogden Stiers. This show cast very, very well here. And like I said, another reason why the show works is because it feels unlike any show Cartoon Network has done at that point. I mean, most of Cartoon Network shows have, before 2010, a kind of a similar format to the misadventures between the main characters that appear mostly towards but sometimes sneaking a little more adult humor into it, like in the vein of something like Animaniacs or Ren and Stimpy. But with regular show, that seems to be the same. There seems to be the same concept with more of an adult edge to it, kind of like Adult Swim. Like if this was on this could easily fit on a network like Adult Swim, like the late night Cartoon Network block. Like, it's a more domesticated world that these characters live in, but they're not afraid to go over the edge for the conclusion. Kind of similar to another great show that came around that time, as I mentioned before, the Looney Tunes show, which was an enjoyable show, but nowhere near to this level. And that kind of like what that was trying to emulate. But at the same time, how about the fact that they're able to get away with saying lines like, you know, "you pissed me off" on a Cartoon Network show? I mean, that when I first heard that the first time, I laughed my ass so hard listening to this.
No, don't.
It's too late.
Come on, dude, don't.
It's already in motion.
Well, put it out of motion.
You pissed me off.
But it also stands out because of the great musical choices they put to this. As far as I know, this is still the only Cartoon Network show that uses a ton of copyrighted music to help further the story along. And it does help that most of the songs are from the 1980s, and I am such a sucker for that music of the time period, so it's already hooking me in on that reason alone. But other than that, the show just does such a great job of having the music connect to the story that is taking shape. And there's just so many great examples of that all throughout this. But on top of that, it's just friggin' hilarious, man. Like, some of the funniest laugh-out-loud moments in recent memory come from this show. The best one of all, the Death Punchies episode, with one of the funniest moments I have ever seen. It's early on, and just, you know, Rigby's talking about how, you know, Mordecai always beats him at Death Punchies, and they flash back to more, you know, how Rigby always gets beat by Death Punchies. And there's just one scene at the end of this montage that makes me laugh so goddamn hard every time I see it. Just watch for yourself.
Dude, you don't beat anybody at Punchies.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
That edit when Rigby gets punched by Skips and he makes that face and then it immediately cuts to him in the ambulance makes me laugh so goddamn hard every time I see it. It never gets old. I mean, that's the greatness about regular show. The surreal humor, the over-the-top antics that just manage to get a ton of laughs out of me every single time. The montage bit from the music compilation is so well done and so clever. It just shows that even in the last season of the show, they still found new ways to keep the jokes coming and going and going. And it's great, man. It really is one of those great, enjoyable shows that I think we need to be talking about more. It's one of the best shows that came out that decade, no question about it. And it does have its faults, but even some of the best TV shows have a couple of negative things against them. I mean, it doesn't take away from the overall enjoyment of the show themselves, and that's the case here. Regular show held up on its own very well over the course of its 8-season run, and while I don't think it never got the full appreciation that I think it more than deserved, it's a show that should be talked about more and more as one of the Cartoon Network's best shows overall. And J.G. Quintel, once again, you know, he knows what he's doing, man. That show he followed it up with, Close Enough, such a funny show that sadly you cannot find anywhere anymore because it was an HBO Max original, and of course HBO Max got rid of it, so now you have to really scramble to find all the episodes. But if you can find that show, watch it, because it's basically just regular show, except it's more adult, it's great, it's much more funnier, and it's more relevant because all the characters are humans in this. But like I said, it's really, really damn good. And like I said, find that show if you can find it out there. But But yeah, the regular show is one of those shows that gets better and better for me every single time I watch it. It's one of my favorite TV shows of all time. It's number 30 on the list of my favorite shows. So we are off and running with this new set of with this new list that we're doing here. Stay tuned for next week's episode where I take a look at number 29 on my list of my favorite TV shows. And if you want to see more of these videos, check out the last episode I did and check out the playlist. So I'll see you guys next time. Take care.